Niache wase, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BB's Fun and Adventures. I'm Mrs. B.
And I'm Mr. B.
Yeah, and we are back with another interesting video. So, Mr. B, last time you were telling us about the Uganda fiasco, the bus thing, people are lighting, helter-skelter, passengers being picked everywhere. Now that you have arrived in Uganda, we could want you to tell us actually, yes, despite all that fiasco with the bus, the experience in Uganda, we want to know much about maybe the food, the Luya nation, and the food. How was the food? How was the people, basically in terms of welcoming strangers, etc. Hey, the matter is yours, man.
Yeah, we had reached the place where I had taken a taxi to where I was going, and I arrived on time. That is around 2 p.m. and yeah, I can say their culture is rather same like what we have in Kenya, and their food, I didn't see something kind of abnormal from what we eat. They have a lot of bananas. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of chicken, meat, ugali, and whatever, everything that we have, tea, African tea mixed and everything. And as much as food is concerned, I think I had no problem at all. Their culture, I think majorly they are Bantus, and where I come from, we're also Bantus. So I didn't have that culture shock. We were going in a small kind of a town, and we were booked in a hotel, which is like a hotel and good infrastructure in that environment, and they had food. Maybe the only thing that I missed was Wi-Fi. Then that I was in a foreign country, and I was to go there for a short time, and I didn't have the luxury of buying their line, kind of what we have here, Safaricom and Airtel or whatever. They have MTN there. So I was visiting for like 3-4 days. I didn't see the need of buying their line, and maybe so that I can access internet. For them, that hotel specifically didn't have Wi-Fi. So maybe that was the little setback in my visit. Yeah.
So when you talk about they have a lot of bananas, and here back in Kenya, the Meru and the Gusis are the people who take pride in bananas. Can you compare the matoke, all the bananas in Uganda with the bananas in Kisii and the Meru, for example? When you talk about a lot, what do you mean by a lot?
Yeah, in Kenya here, I don't come from a tribe that fancy bananas, so I may not be in a good position to maybe explain well, but I'll try. Unlike in Kenya, where I think different people in Kenya have different, like, stable food. As you've said, the Meru, especially the Gusii, they really fancy bananas. And when you come to where I come from in the western part, we fancy maybe ugali. I think in the whole of Uganda, in my own opinion, I think the country circulates around that banana. And it's a lot. In a way that there is a hotel that I went, and I asked for food, let me just call food, which was comprised of ugali called Karol. That is, I think, sorghum ugali Karol.
It's ugali called what? Mr. Peter, take us,
There is a Karol.
So when you talk, my dear fans, when he's talking about ugali, we are talking about the corn smash, or the mashed corn, and I'm like, what do you mean by corn meal called Karol? Karol in Kenya is the name of a person. So imagine saying, I have eaten Karol.
It might be ridiculous.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Let me say, I don't want to say East African culture. Let me say in the Kenyan culture, we have different types of cereals that can produce what we call ugali, what she's calling the mashed corn. You can do that with the dried cassavas, and then as in you pound. You can do it with corn, what we call maize. You can do it with sorghum. You can do it with millet. So those three can give you what we call ugali. In our Kenyan culture, we are used to the corn,
The white one.
the white ugali, or maybe yellow, based on the color of the corn that you have. But the sorghum one will only be, it's only used in maybe traditional festivals. For example, when one is going to pay dowry or something like that, is when you will get the sorghum ugali. And like for the youngsters, the young generation, even they may not have tasted it, and that's why it was a little bit different in Uganda, because for them, on their menu, that sorghum ugali is there. They call it Karol. So yeah, it's so nice that when now you are in Kenya, when you're telling people about what you ate, you can't just say I ate Karol. It may be interpreted into a wrong, maybe you did something funny or something. But Karol, they bring that sorghum in kind of a traditional pot, which is weavered using reeds, and it's so good, and so it appears so good. And the way they make it, like in Kenya, when you eat it, there's specific type of maybe say fish or dry meat or whatever that you eat with it. But then in Uganda, the way they make it, you can just eat it with any type of accompaniment.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was so nice, and when we come back to Matoke, like it's almost like for free, because as I was explaining, I asked that Karol and whatever matumbo, I don't know how I can call it in,
No.
English.
You have to tell us how matumbo are called in English.
I had ovals or something.
And how did you request matumbo from the waiter?
Inside of a cow.
Jesus, the offals. Hey.
Yeah. You know, in Kenya you're used to matumbo. So, and where we were, people cannot speak Swahili well. So I said matumbo. She didn't understand. So I was like, please, is that the inside of a cow? And
Like the intestines.
the intestines. She's telling me ovals. I've never heard of ovals. I know oval is something circular kind of. So it's when somebody told me the matumbo is called ovals in English, so it's okay. So I requested for that, the Karol and ovals, and I was given a lot of bananas, mashed bananas. They are cooked well and then they are mashed as an accompaniment, of which I didn't pay for that. So that's just to say that in Uganda, I think bananas is like, it's like the version of bread in Turkey or in Germany, where you are just given for free and you don't pay for it, I think, if you go to a restaurant.
Wow. Well, so now from eating to Karol to requesting offers, you spoke about traditional African tea, and somebody who has been to Kenyan restaurants could tell you that if you go and ask for like African tea, it's somehow expensive compared to other teas here in the country. How was the case there? And like, you know, the art of making that tea, and when you look at it, the Ugandan way and the Kenyan way, what can you say about it?
I prefer the Ugandan way, because this kind of mixed tea that you get in in Kenyan restaurants, it should be in high-end restaurants and hotels. But as I've said, this was like maybe star 2. I don't know. It's called 2 stars or something, 5 star. So second star or whatever. So as I was saying, yeah, the mixed tea is of quality, and as I had said, you know, the kind of tea that you can get in our high-end restaurants and hotels, like level 5 star and above, is what you could get in a relatively small restaurant like that. And we really enjoyed. The difference is any type of tea that you ask from that restaurant, the price is the same. If you say you want milk tea, the price is the same. If you want maybe strong tea, or maybe chocolate, or maybe coffee, there's no desperation in as far as prices are concerned. But I can tell you that I took the mixed tea, and it was well spiced, and I really enjoyed it.
Luya Nation and tea and
no, we
food.
like tea and food.
Yeah, and so
Mm.
now that you loved Uganda in terms of tea, in terms of their food, you spoke about the reception and etc. And the food and the new cash crops. No, we say cash crops, and Nyandarua is waru. So cash crops of Uganda in that particular place you saw. Anyway, I'm just but joking. They have a lot of
Very nice.
matoke, but one thing that's quite off, no Wi-Fi in most of the restaurants that you did visit. Anyway, you can never get everything 100% in a place, and I think you have another interesting episode to tell us.
Yeah.
I don't want to empty it out to the viewers. I'll just tell you, stay tuned. Mr. B has another interesting video, another interesting experience. Actually, it's a weird one. I don't want to empt, but watch out. Maybe tomorrow or tomorrow part 1, the video will be dropping for that interesting video. For now, let us continue to internalize Mr. B and Karol in Uganda, and yeah, see you next time, guys. At least we have learned a new word, that Karol is not the name of a person alone. Karol is also the name of food. So see you next time. And Mr. B, thank you so much for coming over. Yeah, bye.
Bye.